When I walked down the aisle, the silence was deafening, louder than the vows echoing through the small chapel. I wore a simple dress, nothing like the glittering gown my sister had on during her grand society wedding. I could still recall the string quartet, the champagne fountain, and my father's speech about raising daughters who marry well. They spent nearly 6 figures to make her big day go viral. For mine, they didn't even send a message. That morning, I called them one last time, half hoping, half already knowing. My mother's voice came through, sharp and cold. Enjoy marrying your plumber, sweetheart. We won't embarrass ourselves by being there. Then she hung up. I stood still, phone in hand, bouquet trembling, not from heartbreak, but from something deeper and colder that had finally taken root. They had always valued appearances over people. When my sister got engaged to a corporate heir, my parents practically worshipped him. My mother even told me once, "You could learn a thing or two from your sister." I smiled, pretending it didn't hurt, while they paraded her fiancé to every family dinner. Meanwhile, Evan, my boyfriend, was never invited. Evan wasn't from wealth. His hands were rough, his clothes smelled faintly of oil, and his days were long. But his confidence was quiet, unpolished, real. I met him when my car broke down outside my apartment. He fixed it and refused payment, just smiled and said, "You look like someone who deserves a break." That's when I knew he was different. My parents never saw what I did. They only noticed the work uniform, the calluses, the lack of pedigree. So when he proposed, I didn't rush to tell them. I wanted to believe that love, by itself, would be enough. The week before the wedding, my sister called, her voice syrupy sweet. "You're really marrying him?" she asked. I said yes. She sighed dramatically. "Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Mom's been crying all week about the humiliation." That was the moment I stopped explaining myself. Let them think I was a family disappointment. I had other plans. Evan's company, Blue Line Repairs, was small then. My parents used to roll their eyes whenever they saw his work truck in the driveway. What they didn't know was that I had been quietly helping him grow. I invested my savings, built his website, secured major contracts, and filed paperwork that made him majority owner of what would soon become one of the fastest-growing infrastructure companies in the state. By the time our wedding day arrived, I no longer felt sad about their absence. I felt free. After the ceremony, I sent them one photo. Evan and me standing in front of his latest project, a corporate high-rise, with his company's logo displayed across the site. No caption, just the image. 10 minutes later, my phone started buzzing. First my mother, then my father, then my sister. I ignored the first few calls. Let them sit with it. When I finally answered, my father's voice trembled. "Sweetheart, You didn't care," I said evenly. My mother jumped in, frantic. "We made a mistake. We thought he wasn't good enough." "Funny," I replied. "He just signed a maintenance contract with your company's headquarters. Looks like you'll be seeing him more often." The silence that followed was thick. I could almost hear their pride cracking on the other end of the line. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Revenge doesn't always come with cruelty. Sometimes it's simply letting the truth reveal itself. They've tried to fix things since. Flowers on our porch. Invitations I never answer. My sister even came by once, all smiles and apologies, until she learned Evan's company had bought out the property management firm her husband relied on. Now, when they look at me, they see what they lost, not because of money, but because they never understood real worth. I learned something that day. Some people only value love when it's gone, and others only respect power when it's too late to beg for forgiveness. So, when people ask why I don't visit my parents anymore, I just smile and say, they were busy the day I got married. And I made sure to return the favor. That was the last call I ever took.